Hello viewers, we have been talking about the various markers that are used in gene mapping, and in this video we will be talking about another type of genetic marker, that is the random amplified polymorphic DNA or the RAPD marker. The molecular markers that is used in gene mapping, that is the genetic markers, they are the fragments of DNA which can be located or which can mark the position of specific genes in the genome. Because in order to prepare a genetic map, a physical map, we need certain identifiable locations in the genome with reference to which we can denote the position of the given gene. So this rapid markers, they are the markers, or they are the sequences of DNA nucleotides which are obtained by PCR amplification. And for the purpose of PCR amplification, in this technique we use arbitrary random primers. So this random amplification polymorphic DNA, as the name suggests, they are the DNA fragments which are obtained from PCR amplification. And this amplification is not of known sequences, instead it is of random segments of the genomic DNA. And for the purpose of this amplification, the primer which is used, they are random primers, they are arbitrary primers, nucleotide sequences. So this rapid analysis or the rapid technique, it is a PCR based technique of uh, identifying particular nucleotide sequences in the genome. So these randomly amplified polymorphic DNA marker analysis, it is a technique in which we produce the PCR products, that is the PCR amplicons, they are generated, and these PCR amplicons, they are of different lengths. The reason being that the primer which is used is not sequence specific, they are random primers. These random primers, basically they may vary in length from 8 to 15 nucleotides, but for a particular set of reaction we use a single type of this random primer. And when amplification takes place using these primers, we get different lengths of fragments from the same genome. Now these varied length fragments, they are separated on an agarose or the polyacrylamide gel, and which type of gel is used, that depends upon the complexity of the genetic material of the particular genome that we are using. So our rapid analysis, it uses the primers which are normally decamers. They may be from 8 to 15 nucleotides, but the most frequently used nucleotide sequence, the oligonucleotide, is the decamer sequence. Now see, when we use these or incubate these template DNAs with these random markers, they are short sequences, say decamers, 10 nucleotide sequences, but they are not exact complementary sequences of a known part of the DNA template. That means they are random sequences they are uh, their complementary sequences, they may be present anywhere on this template. So because of this, these primers, they may be the forward primers, or on the same template itself they may be the inverse primers. So the one thing that is definite is that the uh, sequence that will move from 5 dash to 3 dash n, because that is the basic requirement of the DNA amplification, that the nucleotide will come and attach to the free hydroxyl group present on the 3' end. So because of this randomness of the primers used, we obtain a complex pattern of PCR products. Secondly, it is not that all the fragments, they will be amplified with this uh, by this technique. Yeah, during this technique, they will amplify only if these primers, they are close together. If they are far apart, no amplification may take place, because we are using the entire genome and we are using a single type of primer for its PCR. So a complex pattern of PCR products is generated, and after that we run it on the gel so that we obtain different bands. Now one thing we know very well is that the bands produced on a gel, uh, that is during electrophoresis, they depend on the size of the fragment obtained and not on the basis of the nucleotide sequence. So this rapid technique, it uses this very fundamental part, that is the polymorphic nature of the product, the amplicons which is produced. Now if we obtain this rapid markers for two different individuals, say we are using the same primer, and suppose one of the point in one of the individuals, it is mutated. So in that case, that particular fragment, it will not amplify, because now these primers, they are too far apart and no amplification will take place between them. So when we run the gel for these fragments obtained from these two individuals, in that case the bands, they will be different. So we can identify the mutations, because of the presence of these mutations, the primer, it is unable to anneal to this point. So no amplification takes place at this point. So if we look at the entire process in a single view, here they are the genomes from two individuals, and these DNA samples, they are incubated with random primers. Now since the primers, they are random, they will attach randomly on the genome with their complementary sequences that may be present anywhere in the entire genome. And then after, during the PCR, multiple amplicons of different lengths, they will be produced. So when we run the gel, that is by electrophoresis, when we separate these fragments, randomly produced fragments, we will obtain bands which may be monomorphic, that is of a single type of nucleotide DNA, or they may be polymorphic bands. nucleotide sequences, they may be same in two different points, but the length of the DNA having that particular nucleotide sequence, that may vary because of the attachment of these particular primers at the specific sites. So these polymorphisms, they are considered to be primarily due to either the variation in the primer annealing sites, because wherever they find their complementary sequence, they may anneal, and they can also be generated by the length difference in the amplified sequence between the primer annealing sites. That means because of some mutation, if the primer is unable to anneal at a specific point in one of the genomes, then the length, it will vary. So by this technique, we can we can simply use this technique to identify particular segments or genes in a genome. Now, the main advantage of rapid is that they are very quick and easy techniques. This is because PCR is involved and only very small amount of template DNA will be required, because we are going to amplify it using the polymerase chain reaction. Furthermore, the primers which are used for this polymerase chain reaction, they are commercially available random primers. We don't have to sequence the template in order to prepare the primer. So we need not have the sequence of the template that we are going to amplify. And these rapids, they have very high genomic abundance. That is, uh, they are present in the genome at many points because they are very small oligonucleotide sequence, 8 to 15 nucleotide only, and this stretch of the nucleotide can have its repetition many times in the entire genome. So different fragments, these primers, they can be used to obtain the amplicons of different parts of the same genome. But there are many drawbacks of this technique. The main drawback is that we cannot reproduce the results of rapid. So high standardized experimental procedures, they are needed. That is because we are not sure that these primers, they will attach to they will anneal with the same segments every time this PCR is run. Now this rapid analysis, it requires highly purified DNA, the template, because it can anneal with any DNA that is present. The primers, they are not specific, they are random primers. So if any sort of contamination of DNA is there, even the contaminated DNA, it will amplify. And because of its randomness of the annealing part, these experiments, they cannot be the results of rapid analysis, they cannot be reproduced by two experimenters or by the same experimenter in two sets of experiments. Furthermore, these rapid markers, they are not locus specific. So band profiles, they cannot be interpreted in terms of a particular loci or allele because they are polymorphic bands. The same loci may be present in different fragments, different length fragments of the DNA. And similar sized fragments, It is not essential that if the size of a particular DNA in the gel it is same, that means even the sequence of the nucleotide or the gene present on that particular segment is the same. That is also not essential. So this rapid analysis, it needs certain modifications for uh, use as a particular genetic marker. And one such modification is SCAR, that is the sequence characterized amplified region. So for this SCAR technique, it is a technique of developing particular locus specific codominant markers from the rapids. What is done for this process is that from the gel, a particular segment is eluted, it is obtained, and that particular segment is sequenced. And once sequenced, we can form specific primers for that particular sequence. So these SCAR markers, they can be obtained using that specific primer, and these SCAR markers, they will be reproducible because this time the primers that are being used, they are sequence specific, and they are codominant. So SCAR is a modification of rapid analysis. So in the next video, we will be talking about some other DNA marker that is used in physical mapping.